So Ruqsana, as a Muslim girl of a traditional, Bangladeshi family, how hard was it to become a Thai boxer?
Initially, it was incredibly difficult because, given my background, I was very aware that it was unheard of to go into a combat sport such as Muay Thai kickboxing. This was, 15 years ago, not 20, 15 years ago. And, we didn't have many Western women in the gym participating in a sport such as boxing or Muay Thai. So for me, I knew it was out of the question to approach my family and ask them. And not just the fact that I was taking part in the sport, even from a financial point of view, it was going to be difficult for my family. From a religious and a traditional point of view, it all contradicted for myself.
So you had to lie to your parents, basically. They didn't really know where you were when you were in the gym.
So what I did was, once I discovered the sport, I would wake up extra early on a Sunday morning, help my mum do all the house chores, and I would ask her very politely if I can attend the gym, just to go for a run or something, like on a treadmill. And she would feel bad, and she would say, okay, just go for like an hour, make sure you're home by this time. So little did she know, of course, I was coming to this, kickboxing gym, and I'd rush home straight after the training session. So I managed to keep it a secret from them for around 4 to 5 years.
Wow. What was it about kickboxing that you fell in love with? Why did you like it so much?
I believe it gave me an outlet. It gave me purpose. I had focus. I had discipline. I was present. I felt alive. I was learning a new skill. All of those skills that I developed through Thai boxing was a metaphor for life for me. And it enabled me to be a better daughter, a better student, humble myself, and have an outlet to express myself.
And we met your coach, Bill, and you were obviously really talented, and you were, learning your craft, and it was all, going so well for you. And then you were kind of made to have an arranged marriage, and that was a disaster. Can you tell us about that part of your life?
Absolutely. So once I finished university, my parents had arranged a marriage for me. And it was someone from a similar background. I thought it was something that I was meant to do, being a Muslim Bangladeshi female. I was trying to be a good daughter. I was trying to live up to everyone's expectation of me. And at that time, I didn't quite know who I was. I was still kind of evolving. So we went ahead with the wedding. And of course, within 9 months, I went through depression, panic attacks. I completely lost my identity, my faith, my motivation for life. And then I realized that I didn't want to be on antidepressants. I didn't want to be at home feeling sorry for myself. So the only thing I felt familiar with was the gym. So I brought myself back to the gym and just dived straight into it.
But you were educated, you had a degree, you had a really good job. A Western one would sit here and say, "Why, if you didn't want it, why did you feel compelled to go into it? Why didn't you just say, it's not what I want?"
I guess because I was still learning about myself. I've had a very traditional upbringing. I was still quite naive. I was still quite timid and shy. I was very respectful to my parents. I just graduated and I was on top of the world. My parents were so proud of me. Finally, they believed in me. And there was so much subtle pressure regarding this wedding. So every time I did try to bring up the subject with my mother, she would kind of wave it off and, shut me down. And I never really saw anything wrong with it. I think sometimes in life you have to encounter certain, challenges in order to grow and learn. And in fact, you learn more from your challenges and failures than you do from your success. Success shows you that you have the ability and the confidence, but failures give you so much more material to work with.
So then you came back to the gym and you threw yourself into your boxing, into competing, and you had the most amazing success, really against the odds. British champion, a European champion, a world title. How did you do all that?
I guess I did one step at a time. You know, I walked back into the gym, and the only thing I was concerned about was my health and rebuilding my identity, because I had lost that. I lost all faith, I lost confidence, I didn't know who I was. And where I received my parents' blessing to come back to the gym, I just thought, well, I'm going to take advantage of this now. They just want their daughter back, and I want myself back. I want to heal myself. And the sport gave me a lifeline. And I realized I was holding my own with a lot of the females in the gym and some of the male Thai boxers. And that gave me the confidence to say, well, actually, if I can do this, let me step into the unknown and put myself into the competition side of things. And I became a British champion. And then Bill said to me, he goes, you got your title, you can retire now. And I said, no, Bill, if I can do this, what's stopping me from becoming a European champion? And I think I just took one step at a time. I had my vision, you know, in the background, but on a day-to-day basis, I was always seeking to improve myself. And that's all I expected of myself, to be the best version of myself each and every day.
It must have been much nicer coming back to boxing a second time, because you've been honest with your parents.
Yes.
So you can enjoy it more.
100%.
Do you think a lot of Muslim girls feel this conflict? You know, they're brought up in a Western city like London, but they're traditional as well, and they want to please their parents. And it's a massive balancing act for lots of women.
Absolutely, I agree with you, because for many years, even once I received my parents' support, I was still in battle with myself, that inner monologue where, am I going against my values, my personal, my core values in life? My religion, my faith was very important to me, and especially getting into the ring and actually hurting someone, does that go against my values? Because I'm not a confrontational person. So I was in constant back and forth with that for many, many years. And eventually I managed to find that balancing act between the Eastern and the Western culture and bridge the gap, because I realized that it's all about your intention. What am I doing? Am I providing service to society? Am I serving myself to be my highest potential? And when you're your best self, that inspires people, because they see that you're authentic, you're truthful. It doesn't matter if you have flaws. People forgive if you have failures, as long as you're consistent and you stick to, you're congruent with your values.
So you've come back to the gym, you're enjoying your boxing, your parents know about it, and you're competing well. And then you've now got to deal with another barrier, which is ME.
Yes.
A lot of people would have thought at that point, I'm throwing in the towel here, but you didn't.
Oh, that was one of the biggest struggle of my life, in fact, because, you know, just when I had my parents' blessing and I was ready to dive in and just won a British title, I was faced with ME, and that really debilitated me, where even though I wanted to give 110%, physically I was unable to do so. And initially I just kept going, and I realized that actually no, I'm causing more harm to myself. So I need to take advice from the doctors, the nutritionists, from Bill, people who understood the illness a little bit better, and it paid dividends. When I started to cut down on my training and think more strategically, that paid dividends.
But when you went for the world title, you were feeling really bad, and your ME had really sort of kicked in on that day. How did you do that? Because Bill didn't think you were going to do it.
No.
But somehow you did. You won.
I was actually bedridden for the whole week. And I think leading up to the fight, obviously there's a lot of mental pressure, there's a lot of physical pressure on my body and making weight. So the ME had kicked in. And I thought, okay, maybe after the weigh-in I'll feel better because I'll get to eat, I'll have some carbohydrates, which I was kind of not eating during the weight cut. And I just, we didn't know if this fight was going to go ahead. I was so poorly. But I managed to get myself up, jump on a cab, take myself to the venue, and Bill said, okay, we'll let the medics decide. That was our plan. So the medics somehow passed me because I was feeling so much better in the evening. And then we went to the changing room and I couldn't even last a warm-up. And Bill said, he doesn't feel comfortable with this. And I said to him, give me 2 minutes, one round. I could knock her out in the first 30 seconds and we can all go home. And he still looked really nervous. However, he trusted me. He said, okay, I'm in control. I'm going to throw in the towel if I see you struggling at any moment. And of course, the fight went the distance. But I just dug deep. I think there was always something, I just believe faith can move mountains. When you dig really deep and that inner strength comes in, you're fighting with your spirit. It's not your body, it's not your mind, it's a collaboration of your mind, body and spirit, and that's infinite.
You've got it seems you have a lot of support from the world of boxing. You showed me your Instagram and they're all over there. Tyson Fury, Joseph Parker, a lot of people are behind you.
I've been so fortunate in terms of I haven't been in boxing for very long, and I've met these amazing people, and I've had these amazing experiences. Tyson Fury, when I met him at camp, it just happened so randomly. He happened to be in Vegas at the same time I was, and I messaged him saying, can I come and just say hello? And I walked in and he called me over and I was about to introduce myself. And he looked at me and said, I know who you are. I saw you on Channel 5. And I was like, oh, okay. So he treated me as an equal. And that was so refreshing for myself that, we were both seen as two fighters. And he gave me that same respect as he would do for one of his peers. So I'm so grateful for that.